just want to give you an update on how the day's been and also address a question that comes up a lot when people talk about going on a detox. And first of all, often when you're drinking juice, the first instinct that people think is, I'm going to get hungry. And actually that does happen. There are highs and lows throughout a detox. And the upside is far better than the downside. For somebody that's new to detoxing, new to cleansing, there will be a sense of heaviness and possibly a drawdown in energy through days 2 and 3. That's not unusual because you're cleansing your body out and now there's nothing food-wise in there for it to draw energy from. So it starts to tap into the body's natural resources. This could be the fats around the organs, the natural fats inside inside the system as well. You're going to find that the detoxification process starts to take place. So you'll have toxins going out into your lymphatic system, which is why it's so important to have some sort of movement, whether it's walking or bouncing on a regular basis during the course of the detox. So do you get highs and lows? Absolutely. Have I had any in the last 3 days? Not really, although this morning on day 3, I have to say, we've been going to bed at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. We've had some quite late nights, and our daughter's getting up about 7:30. And this morning I did wake up feeling a little bit heavier than I had done for the first 2 days, and I realised that's probably because I wasn't hydrating enough when I went to bed. And that's something to be aware of as well. Always keep a big glass of water by your bed when you are going through a detox, because that's something that's very important to keep your body hydrating. Remember, you're not putting any food in there, and the great thing about drinking water is it does fill the stomach out as well. So that for me was one of the things that occurred over the last 72 hours. We had the Colonics today, which was a great experience here in Denmark. Extremely professional, by the way. If anyone's interested, you can email us through my website at inquiries@rohanlive.com, and we can tell you who we used here in Denmark. Very professional, extremely comfortable to use. And again, what was interesting for me was as I went through the process and I came out of that particular colonic, I was fine, although we didn't bring any water in with us. We were loaded with juice, and we had to go and buy some water because certainly with my body type, I find it's very important to keep hydrated. So although I was drinking the juices, my body was crying out for water, and that's fine. And in fact, even though you're having water flushed inside you, you're also releasing a lot of toxins. Your liver, for example, as the colon starts to cleanse out, will dump things down, and there is a process of unloading even after the colonic. So it's really important to keep some fluids around you when you go through that colonic process as well. So when do the highs and lows hit? And that's a question that comes up. And really that's a difficult one to answer right now because everybody's different. My body type, I'm extremely slim in my body structure, so I don't carry a lot of body fat, a lot of body weight. I also have been on a non-meat based diet. Yes, I eat some fish since 2002, so that's like 8 years. So I don't carry a lot of toxic deposits in my body. Somebody that is overweight eats a lot of meat, drinks a lot of alcohol, eats lots of sugary foods, drinks lots of tea and coffee, and has a lot of sugary based meals coming into their body, even fast foods. That person is likely to have a much different experience to myself, and that's why you've got to monitor yourself and take it easy when you go through this process. But it's unbelievably uplifting, and you'll find your energy levels go through the roof. Funnily enough, I was walking through Copenhagen today and I was really aware that my senses were very acute to everything, even smells, people smoking cigarettes. And that makes sense because you're detoxing. Usually around day 2 or 3, you'll start to notice possibly your skin. You may get some spots, eczema starting to release things into your skin. Some people get boils even. It's very common to find that your breath feels like it's different, because you're releasing toxins out as well. You can just tell I've had a big gulp of juice when I got back, so got a few hiccups going on here. So expect to have the highs and lows, and that's fine, that's part of the process. As far as the colonics go, I would strongly recommend that you look into it and make sure you're comfortable with the technique that's available. A lot of people think you have to go in and there's this huge thing that goes up your backside. Actually, it's not about that at all. There's a very, very powerful hydrotherapy system that we use, and it's extremely comfortable. to use. And yes, there's a little bit of discomfort during the process initially. Once you get into the flow of it, you'll find it has massive benefits to you. And of course the big one is that by having the colon absolutely cleaned out, what it does is it removes all this hard fecal matter that's in the colon, which means any food that goes into your body is now able to absorb out into the blood system, which maybe it hasn't been able to do as effectively before. So that's it for the end of day 3. A couple of things I'll cover with you tomorrow regarding the blender that we use and the juices that we use. I've been asked that question a few times now, and hopefully it's been valuable to you. So actually, there is one last thing I want to add to the end of day 3, and that is that this is the day typically that a lot of people give up if they've never done a detox before. And so they get a bit frustrated because they're feeling this drawdown in their energy and they're feeling hungry, and the tools to avoiding that need for hunger, because it will come up, is to have lots of fluids available. One of the key things is don't let the hunger grow so much that you suddenly go and gulp down a load of juice 3 or 4 hours in. If you keep topping your body up with fluids, with water and with the juices, your stomach will naturally expand and have a sense that it's actually had something to eat. Now, it's not going to replace that feeling of having eaten, but it's certainly going to help. What a lot of people do is that they don't drink as much as they should do, enough juice. The stomach shrinks down, then they have this feeling of hunger, and then they start to get a bit desperate. Actually, if you keep topping up during the course of the day, keep bringing the juice into your body, you'll find that sensation starts to go away. And that's why it's also important to have some of the superfood type drinks I was talking about, which would include the olive oil, the coconut oil, because that gives the palate and the stomach a sensation of having eaten as well. So you're tricking the mind and the body into feeling that it's eaten something solid, and you're constantly topping up throughout the day. And remember one thing, you're doing this for your health. You can make £1 million or $1 million. You can have a great relationship, but if your health is crap, you're going to find yourself in a really tricky place in 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years time. Your energy will be flat, you'll feel apathetic, you'll start to pick up more diseases, and you'll actually find that you ache and all these things that are linked with poor diet. So if you can keep with this and keep the reason you're doing this in your mind, the focus, the purpose, the end result, you're going to find the process a lot easier. So remember, if you haven't written it down before you started the Colonic, it's really important that you do actually do that. Write down why you're doing it and remind yourself of it. Have it written down on a piece of paper and think about the end benefit, because you will start to focus on, oh, when I get to the end of the 5 days, I'm going to have this, I'm going to eat this, I'm going to eat this. This is quite a common thing for people that are new to doing cleanses. All right, so hopefully that makes sense, and I'll catch up with you a bit more on this.